Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I am your host, Michelle Bosch. I see a gaping hole across society that focuses on the outer work and forgets about the inner work, when what we really need is to bridge the gap between prosperity and spirituality to live a life in flow, with inflows of light, inflows of cash, inflows of creativity, inflows of grace in our lives. Each week, join me for powerful messages and interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow in your higher work. So now, let's go. Welcome. I am excited to be here with you guys with an amazing guest. Her name is Laurie Maines. Laurie, how are you? Welcome.
I am wonderful, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I know that many of you may have already known or heard about Laurie, but I wanted to just find out what she was up to, and her second anniversary of being a land flipper. She's going on year 2. And so without further ado, Laurie, I know that you've done, up until right now, about 19 deals. You flipped on around 19 pieces of land. You've had about $146,000 in profits, and you're on track for 2022 alone to basically almost double that, or even go beyond that. Because we were just chatting right before, we started here recording, that she's thinking that it'll probably be a little bit over $150,000. For year 2022. We're right now, in the first quarter of 2022. So I'm assuming that you had these projections because you're on track for that. But before we get into all of that, Laurie, I wanted, for everyone that is just meeting you here for the very first time, to you giving them the benefit of telling us a little bit about your background, your story, like how did you grow up around money? What were you doing before becoming a land flipper? Just tell us your story, Laurie.
We were always comfortable. We did great things. We did camping, skiing, stuff that didn't necessarily cost a lot when I was growing up. A wonderful, loving yours, mine, and ours family, like so many people. And I was working in an industry for about 32 years and left that industry about 3 years ago. And decided,
you were in a leadership position in that industry. What was your position there?
I was the president of a company. It was a manufacturing company, and it was very interesting, very grueling. Very someone else's dream, not mine. I was happy to be there, happy to, help their dream, try and get it where they wanted to go. Then we ended up leaving and decided we want to do our own. We want to look into real estate. You can make money in real estate. Let's see what that's about. And tried a lot of different things. And what all of those things brought me to was meeting Jack 2 years ago today at our local RIA. And all of the knowledge that I had gained with all of the training and all the different systems that we tried, I listened to Jack and I said, damn, this is it. This is the one. We can do this. We can feel good about it. We're going with it. And we jumped on board.
It was my understanding. It is my understanding that you had been trying other stuff in real estate with not a whole lot of success. What were you doing?
Other things. Lots of other things. Okay. To the tune of maybe $150,000 of other things.
That is disheartening without any success.
We flipped a couple of properties, but I don't call that success if you're working your rear end off and doing a ton of the physical stuff yourself and then end up with a couple bucks afterwards. Yeah, that's, not totally my idea of joy and success.
Absolutely. I think for most of us, it definitely is not. The whole point of starting a side hustle that eventually becomes, our main hustle is so that we can have not so much hustle actually afterwards. Once a team is in place, once kind of like nail down the model, you are on your way towards mastery. The whole point of this is a life rich in entrepreneurial freedom. So then you find Jack at the RIA, you jump with both feet in, you start, you invest
well, we jumped with one foot in initially because we thought the program was so good. Oh, we can do this. They have it all laid out step by step by step.
Which we do, yeah.
And by July of that year, I'm going, you know what? We can do this, but I want to supercharge it. We're going to jump into coaching because that's just a whole nother world and a whole nother level that's opened up to you. It really, it expands your mind of all the different things you can do, kind of outside the basics of this is how you get there. Yeah. It just gives you so much more. So that's when we really started moving with it.
Yeah. So tell me about, that first, I would say 6 months in coaching. How many deals were you able to do? Like, what is the difference? Like, if we were to say, your life before coaching and your life after coaching, like, how would that compare, or the contrast?
I don't even think we had a deal during our first 4 months. We're not picking good counties. We were, we thought we were, but we were kind of licking it around the edges. It's like, I know they say 500, but couldn't it tell us in 200 or 300? Just, nonsense like that.
Yeah.
And, then when we got serious, it's like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do it right. I mean, now we send out 1,000 to test a county, because it's just,
exactly. And that's exactly one of the things that, in coaching, once you come on board, we help you, I would say, kind of like unlock your potential. And if you're fearful or thinking, okay, I can do it with less, or I could do it with more. There's going to be situations in which there's going to require more of certain things. And then there's going to be situations that are going to require less here, but more there. And so it's this leading you through what the common mistakes are of a beginner or even a person that had some experience in real estate, and helping you kind of like collapse that time, shrink time for you and help you create those leaps in income that would otherwise take you years. Would you say that that's probably like...
Well, not only that, but it helps you fine tune something that works for you. Exactly. That's the beauty about the whole LPG thing. You can learn it, you can go through it, you can do it, you can be successful, but what really works for you? Mm-hmm. Do you just want to deal in this kind of land because you like that? Do you only want to do 6 deals a year and they're huge deals? Or, you can...
That is so important. That is so important that you mentioned it, Laurie, because it's not a one size fits all. It needs to be scaled that is the right fit for you, for your family, for the season in life that you're in. For the time that you have available and so on. And if you want to make, the biggest get the biggest bang for your buck, for sure, you need that kind of guidance and be led as to what could give you the results that you're looking for. And each and every one of us is different. We're looking for different things, for sure. For a lot of us, it could be that the immediate need is get real hard cash in the bank. For others, it could be actual monthly cash flow, because that's the beauty of land, that you don't only sell it, with quick wholesale flips for a big, huge profit, but that you can also start, creating and building some cash flow as well. So tell me about how you're doing these deals. Are you using any of your own money? I know we talked about at the beginning, I said that you've done already 19 deals. Why are you so bullish about 2022? And basically, in your second year, you're thinking in that 1 year alone, you're going to do more than what you did so far, even before you started coaching and while you were in coaching and so on. Are you year 2 in coaching already?
I'll be going into year 3.
Yeah, you're going to go into year 3. That's what I thought. So tell me a little bit about what are some of the deals that you're working on right now. You said earlier today that you're excited about one specifically that you would have not been able to do if you were not in coaching. So tell us about that one.
Well, I think coaching gives you the freedom to explore and learn so many different options of things. And the deal that I'm so excited about right now, if that would have hit me 6 months in or even a year in, I would have just passed on it. It would have scared me, honestly, because there was a woman who had 3 beautiful lakeside properties, main channel properties. She needed to sell them, and she needed to sell them fast because she had to get money for her daughter's college education. So, I mean, I would have just, well, I don't have that kind of money. No, okay, well, go somewhere else. And, they always say, if you need money, there's money out there. And literally, I'm going, you know what? We can do this.
Yeah.
And I rounded up none of my own money. I mean, I'm putting a little in, I'm handling the advertising and stuff like that. So it's minuscule compared to everyone else. But I raised $142,000 in less than 48 hours.
Yeah. And that's just from being inside of the Land Profit Masters coaching community where.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there was a line of people, sorry, they missed out on the deal because they didn't say yes fast enough, because it was just gone.
Yeah.
So
and this isn't the situation that you have to come up with the money, because the lady, like you said, the seller needed to close very quickly. But if you have a little bit of time to market properties, like as probably, our listeners and our viewers have, during, right now, during this promotion have heard that you can do this by doing double escrows without bringing any of your own money. You can assign, but there's going to be situations like the one where Laurie was in, where it's imperative that basically she has access to an environment, to a circle of people that know exactly what she's doing, that understand land flipping, that understand land in general, because banks do not land on land, and that can come in and say, yes, I'm willing to do this. I understand what you're doing. I know your values. I know you from being inside of the community. Let's go. And you being able to be of service to this mother that is in need of funds, to pay for college tuition. And you are in service of the buyer that probably, was ecstatic with lakeside properties and in a beautiful recreational area. And that's the joy that comes out of it as well, is you being able to be of service to those kinds of people. And hey, as a result of that, doing well as well yourself and putting some money in the bank. So may I ask, what was the profit split on that deal?
Well, no, we literally just took the properties down. So we just bought the proproperties.
And now you're basically going out there and starting to market. What is the potential profit in spread that you have? What's the market value?
We probably bought them less than half price.
Okay.
Because she needed the money. She was happy to do the deal. I'm thinking that the people who put in the money are going to be getting between a 30 and 60% return on their investment. And, my husband and I ourselves that put, we'll probably put maybe $2,000-$3,000 in when all is said and done. We'll probably make somewhere between $75,000 and $150,000.
That is
on those 3 deals, selling the 3
So
properties.
on those 3 deals from one seller, because you're having to deal just with one seller for 3 pieces of land, $150,000. Or is that what you said right now?
For me, for us.
And between 75 and 120, I think is actually what you said. Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. So that means that probably market value for this parcel is closer to $400,000 or $500,000, and you got it under contract for $142,000
for all 3. Yeah. It would be close to $600,000 for all 3 of them.
Yeah. That is amazing, Laurie. And that's why I wanted to catch up with you, because I know that you're always up to exciting stuff, exciting deals, new things. It's almost like as we grow in our capability and our confidence, our ability to start putting these deals together grows. And if you start with a $15,000-$20,000, flip, which are kind of like sometimes the norm inside of our community, those are great. And then you're going to have these home runs like the ones that you have, that because you're inside of coaching, you have somebody to lead you, to guide you, to help you put the deal together. And on top of it, you have a community of people that are, willing to invest with you. That definitely makes a whole world of difference for sure. Now, tell me as far as, so that's money in the bank, and that's amazing. We have our freedom of money right there taken care of. Tell me a little bit about the freedom of time that you and your husband, and the freedom of purpose now, because you were basically in a job for some 20 something years, you described, in a career going down this path, and that was a completely different path, building someone else's dream. And so tell me about what else have you gained, maybe from the point of view of freedom of purpose and freedom of time? How has your life changed?
We've gained just total freedom. I mean, one of the most wonderful things about the land flipping that you teach us, if you have an internet connection, you can do this from anywhere, And so, I mean, I have had the luxury of being able to travel to California for 8 to 10 days a month and help out with my newest granddaughter, which is just so special. So for the last year and a half, that's what I have been free enough to come do. And I mean, just really get to see her moment by moment growing up, and just the ability to travel, the ability to, time mailings. So maybe you're not getting slammed, during this week of offer requests and stuff like that. You just
you have total control of your deal flow, for sure.
Total control of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely total control.
Yeah.
I mean, if we weren't so lackadaisical and enjoying time off here and there, we'd be even further ahead, but it's like, this is good. We're doing what we want. We're getting what we want. It's only getting bigger. We're bringing more people in to assist us. So it's not just totally on our shoulders, because we started doing every single thing ourselves. So, you start handing off that, and you get to build it however you want it. If you want to keep talking to the sellers and buyers, you can do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I mean, just if you want to hire someone for all the closings, because escrow closings are kind of their own little rodeo. Sometimes you feel like you're herding rabbits to get to the finish line. But, it's so interesting, and it's so stimulating. I feel like my mind's going to stay good till I die at 125, because that's my goal.
Yeah, definitely. Like with new levels of mastery means new skill sets, new up levels that need to happen for us as a person. And we continue to evolve and to grow. And that keeps definitely, our minds sharp, our spirits strong. Yes. It affects your health. I always say that a win in one category of your life is a win across all categories of your life, health and family and love relationships and social relationships and so on and so forth. You mentioned earlier that you're now going on year 3, and you've been successful already, and you've seen, your ROI already in the first year of coaching. But why did you decide, Laurie, to, for someone that might be thinking, well, does she have to go into coaching a second year because she wasn't successful the first year, because someone that is thinking ROI and is thinking, will this work for me? And I need it to work within a specific period of time. Why is she enrolling a second time? What is it about this community that made you say, okay, I want to keep on doing this?
You know what? I love the community, and things are always changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we started 3 years ago, it was a totally different environment and world out there than it is now.
Pre-pandemic, absolutely.
Yeah. So, there are always new things to learn and new concepts and new, every time I'm on a coaching call, I'll get a golden nugget, And there's so much out there, and it will always continue to change. The world, I mean, my goodness, look at our world right now. It continually changes. And this is something that you can just update and keep at it, and, change the nuances, tweak it here, tweak it there, decide. I mean, these properties, we had drone footage. I went and got drone footage, and now I'm going, well, I can't just throw that in an ad. It's huge, and I'm going to have to link it somehow. I mean, so we have to figure out how to do that. So, next coaching call, it's like, okay, I have this wonderful drone footage. So how do I make it part of my ad, type of thing. So there's just always new stuff. So
absolutely. And you've also had the benefit, of not having just access, which is unprecedented in our industry, really, to have everyday access, in the group format, but also on the one-on-ones. Tell me a little bit about like the everyday access. What has that meant for you and your ability to basically put up a deal or have a question that you need an immediate answer for to get actually, something done?
The everyday access gives you exactly that. If you have a problem that came up the night before, it's like, oh, I'm going to ask that tomorrow, But then there's also the growing aspects, like, if you want to make it bigger, let's make it bigger. How do you make it bigger? Here are the steps.
Scaling the business. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what we're really trying to fine tune right now. It's like, okay, where do we want to go to this, and how do we go to it? And the different coaches have done it different ways, and it's wonderful to hear how other people are handling it. So you can go, oh, that would work for me. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, that'd be good. I mean, you can just sit there. It's like a smorgasbord of ideas, seriously.
It's exactly it. It's all of a sudden, basically, you have access to the superpowers of 20 people that are the top 1% in their space, that are at the top of their game in their business. And then they're giving you, their perspective and taking a peek under the hood in your own business and telling you, okay, this is what I would do, and giving you clear feedback and direction. And that's what we need. And like you said, it may be that, the one way one coach does it is different than the other. And it's up to us to figure out, okay, this is what's going to work for me, and basically go full force, in that path, in that direction. Because you're now basically at the level of mastery. You've gone through the 4 stages of growth. You guys are no longer in startup. You're not in build up or build out. You're in starting to get into mastery. You're bringing in VAs, you're bringing in people to help you. You're done automation, you've done delegation of some sort, and you're continuing to just optimize and really be at the cutting edge. And that's part of basically, I guess, the incentive for you to be part of the community, even the second years, which we're excited to have you, Laurie, because then I get the pleasure of coming online here with you again and figuring out what amazing things this woman is doing now in land, and just being an example and an inspiration, to other ladies and really to other couples as well, because you guys are working together as well. You and hubby are working together. I'm, I couldn't be more excited about that. Now, if there was somebody listening to us and they were on the fence, like what were some of the things that kept you from, in the beginning, dabbling and really, like you said, not figuring it out, and then deciding, okay, we're going to go all in. We're going to do this seriously. I'm going to commit to coaching. Like, what were your fears prior to coaching? What was holding you back?
I don't know. Spending a hunk of money is always like, do we really? Is it going to be a benefit? Do we want it?
Yeah.
But
of course.
But the difference between the basics that you guys lay out, which are great basics, there's just so many more things that can expand that. And people have. I mean, we have a coach that specializes in RV lots. It's just, there's just so many different things that you can decide, this is a great specialty. I'll do this. There's a student that just does mobile home lots, period. That's all he does. And he's killing it.
Yeah.
So it's just the fact that you can tailor it, and they help show you the 10 million options of what you might want to pick and choose to tailor it and really make it your own. And, get it done.
Absolutely. Yeah. We definitely have a clear trajectory and path for everyone. And then at some point you're going to get, along the lines of, Laurie, and you're going to be already at that fourth stage of your business and mastery. And you're going to be basically making tweaks to really make it your own and give it your own flavor and your own design, and so that we can live a life by design, for sure.
One of the things, one of the little tweaks that we did was we kept getting these HOA properties, and they're not, the buyers do not desire them as much as they desire non-HOA properties. That's just kind of the reality. And so our coach said, well, only send to properties that are 5 acres and above, and you're going to miss a lot of the HOA stuff. And it's like, that's true, and so
it's these tiny little tweaks, but then all of a sudden they have saved you thousands or hundreds of dollars in marketing that you would have spent, in areas with, acreage 5 and under, that you would have had to deal with these hiccups. Not that you can't sell a property with a choice, but that's not necessarily something that you guys wanted to go after.
Right.
And just that tiny little tweak, it's the saving of money, in mistakes. It's the turning, getting rid of the guesswork out of the game. It is the helping on optimizing, on tweaking, on efficiencies, on scaling that you've talked about. It's making it your own, business, so that you can go and spend time with your granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old is she?
She turned 2 in November.
Oh, so she's in a bitty. Yeah, she needs grandma.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. But sometimes it's so nice to have somebody else looking in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the nice things about coaching, because it probably would have occurred to us at some point in time okay, let's go for bigger properties, and we can have a better chance of having less of the HOAs. But if somebody else is looking in and not so stuck in the weeds, they go, hey, why don't you try this? And it's like, okay. So
absolutely. Now, if someone right now is thinking about it, and basically they're in this decision, where probably this is going to be one of the major decisions in their life, because that's exactly how Jack and I see this, and how our entire team sees this, is that, whoever comes and joins our world and joins basically our ecosystem is a business athlete, number one. Number two is a person that is committed. But number three is a person that has had the situation where they had to face this decision of, do I muster the courage to, like you said, put out this amount of money? And what can you say to that person now that you are on the other side of that decision? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, it's not magic.
Yeah.
You have to be committed.
Absolutely.
You can't spend that money and then sit there and not do what you're supposed to do and go, oh, this really isn't working for me. It's like spend the money, be committed, put one foot in front of the other, don't waver, do exactly what you're told, start thinking out of the box and bringing your own ideas in, and see how those weigh in, and just do it. Just get it done. This is a life-changing experience, truly. I mean, I look back and go, man, if I could have started this 30 years ago, I mean, my life would be totally, totally different. And my life already is totally different, even though I've only been in for going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
So
tell me, as far as like, excitement, because you just right now touched upon something, how transformational it's been. So excitement towards the year now, the year 3 that is starting right now, and of you being in this land flipping world. How is retirement looking like? What are some things that were concerns or that were worries before, Laurie, that no longer are worries for you?
Well, our retirement, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live retirement in, I don't know, I guess a little apartment doing nothing and, worrying if you're going to pay your bills every month. Or you can do retirement with freedom to travel and freedom to spend money when you want, and leave a bigger legacy to your kids and your grandkids and the world. There are people out there that need help.
Yeah.
And it's lovely if you have the ability to be able to help them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's just family, or you can grow to a point where you can do it beyond family. I think helping make people whole and better helps you make yourself more whole and better.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is this is a beautiful and I think way to wrap things up, because that's what this is about. It's sometimes even like hard to explain to people that yes, we're giving you coaching on a strategy within real estate, in an asset class within real estate. But the person that walks into the door, of the coaching Land Profit Masters coaching program, and the person that leaves or that, finishes this 12-month incubator process is a completely different person, not just in terms of like how you think, your abilities, your skill set, to negotiate, to put deals together. But at a cellular level, you're a completely different individual, confident, trusting in your abilities, that no matter what happens in the economy, that you're going to be able to succeed, create your own economy, turn what pardon my French, shitty situations into amazing situations and turning them around because of the skill sets that you developed over this year. That we're doing it in the context of helping you flip a piece of land, every so many weeks, but that there's this other level of transformation that happens, and that you beautifully described. So thank you so much for talking about that as well. And Laurie, it has been a pleasure for all of you listening. If you are ready to jump in, all in like Laurie did, and basically really, like she said, transform your life, change how your bank account looks, change whether you're in debt or not, change whether you have peace of mind about retirement or not, then we're here for you. Go and book a call at landcoaching.com. Again, www.landcoaching.com. And just talk to one of our team to see if we are a fit for each other, because at the end of the day, we are the best of what we do in our space. But you need to be willing, like I said earlier, to bring the best. It takes two to tango. Laurie obviously tangos with us. And so if you're ready to really embark, to really push the boundaries of what's possible for you and your family, of really leave an imprint of the universe, of the courage, of the brave decision that you're making today, and look back, 12, 48 months down the road, or however many years down the road, and you've looked at the next generation, they'll probably be in a completely different path. And it all comes down to the decision that you made today. So definitely go ahead, book your call, landcoaching.com. Laurie, it has been a pleasure to have you. I love, like I said, bringing you here and hearing about what you're doing. I'm ecstatic about, you guys really in a single year right now, being on trajectory, for what you've done cumulatively prior to that, and just doing it in a 12-month period. And congrats on those 3 lots. I am rooting for you guys on those $75,000 to $120,000 profit splits. And thank you for being part of the community. You are such an asset and a light to everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash inflows of light and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.